The Honourable Annette King.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Of course, Bill English does know a lot about leadership because he was Mr. 22% that took the National Party to one of the worst defeats they have ever had, and he's still bitter about it. He's still whinging about it, and he's still plotting at every moment he can get to get back into the Prime Minister's seat. Well, Mr. Speaker, last week the long-awaited affordable housing package from the government was announced. You know, it reminded me of that old Peggy Lee song from the late 1960s, "Is that all it is? Is that all there is?" And if you remember, Mr. Speaker, and I'm sure you do, it was a song about disillusionment. And I have to say, New Zealanders who have been waiting and wishing and hoping for a response to the growing housing crisis in New Zealand have every right to be disillusioned. Because for 7 months the government received a report from the Productivity Commission on Affordable Housing. What did it do? It set out the issues. It highlighted areas for action and it gave them 33 recommendations. And for 7 months we had to wait for the government's response. And for 7 months we got the old political striptease from the Minister of Finance. A little speech here, a little hint of action over there, a patsy or two of questions in Parliament, some sympathetic comments like, "We clearly have a problem in Auckland with a lack of supply of housing, particularly for low-income people. We're determined to get a better deal for people." Well, I say to Bill English, he is either not determined enough or he is a spent force in the National Party cabinet, because he's been overtaken by the ideas man, the apparatchik of the National Party, Stephen Joyce, because the affordable housing package is toothless and it is gutless. And as John Armstrong wrote in the New Zealand Herald last week, package? What package? He wrote. I have to agree with him. He said the government's plan looks like a first draft. Duncan Garner on his blog wrote, "There is nothing bold in here at all." Oh, so they're now laughing at Duncan Garner. This is the man they all suck up to most of the time. They don't like it when he writes the truth. He said it's tinkering while Auckland burns in the face of unsustainable house prices. He said National has shied away from getting hands-on or even getting its hands dirty. He said one word for it, underwhelming. Well, what I say is it is tinkering by muddled thinkers, devoid of ideas, paralysed by ideology, lacking in vision and innovation, and into a whole lot of blame shifting. Local government, they say, must stump up or else. We don't know what the or else is, but they are being told they must stump up and address affordable housing in New Zealand. Well, of course, the irony of that is, at the same time Bill English is saying that, Nick Smith and his would-be Minister of Local Government, David Carter, is saying, no, local government, you must get out of anything the private sector could do. Well, I can say that this is a pathetic response to a very serious problem in New Zealand. We've been told there'll have to be more inquiries, more work to be done, and more evaluations. Well, Mr. Speaker, there is a choice a government can make. There are two paths a government can go down. One where it's hands-off, where the business knows best, let the market rule, deregulated economy, deregulated safety, deregulated everything. And we're seeing the results of that in New Zealand after 2 decades or more, with some of the worst health and safety records around the world, with leaky buildings, with deregulated electricity market that was to give us cheaper prices and we're paying more. And then there is the other path a government could go down. A government that is more hands-on, that is supporting its exporters, that's protecting New Zealand jobs, that is leading our building of affordable homes in New Zealand. The government should be leading by example. An example was, Mr. Speaker, Hobsonville. What did they do? They cancelled affordable housing. They cancelled state housing. They are devoid of ideas, and nothing in housing will happen under this government as long as they occupy the Treasury benches.
The Honourable Tim Grosser.
Mr. Speaker, we all know